Uh, my slides are visible to all?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
And at the onset, I would really like to thank the organizing team, Professor Nirmal Surya, Dr. Abhishek Srivastav, and the entire MSSI Mumbai team, and especially to Professor Kessel Ring. He's something we've always looked upon. We have grown seeing him. And being a physiotherapist, I feel he has been like a father figure for all of us who's been inspiring us directly or indirectly to take the things forward in a more patient directed format. So moving on to my presentation. So basically we started with online physiotherapy for MS patients, and here are certain practical things that we observed over the time. So the first question that comes, why online physiotherapy when face-to-face is available? As we all know, we all been fighting against this COVID pandemic. So definitely it has reduced the OPD visits. And even the caretakers are not usually available to take the patients to the OPD. And just to reduce the need for transportation, online physiotherapy provides a better option. And despite developing a strong therapeutic relationship, it also helps to treat the patient within their personal space. So that's one very important thing which I feel the patient realize more confident when they do exercise in their own home. And also there is a decreased sense of depression and the caregiver strain, because it's like online classes for children that we have started getting for our kids. So even the caregiver feels, yes, my patient is being taken care of despite everything which is happening all around. And definitely there is more potential for increased motivational counseling. And yes, is there a higher adherence for the home program? That is something I leave it as a question, and probably this will be answered well in my subsequent slides. So how did this journey begin? On 26 February 2021, on Saturday, we had an orientation program under the aegis of MSSI Mumbai. And we launched this program. We oriented our patients that we are going to try out doing this evidence-based practice, but on an online platform, so that whatever our patients have missed over an year, we'll be able to deliver it to them. So our target was to improve the balance and to improve the walking abilities. So these were the two basic criteria that we went ahead with. And a very simple question: how do we decide what is a physiotherapy protocol that we need to give to our patient? Very simple. We do the thorough clinical assessment with the review of their medical history, and then customize the therapy considering the above points and keeping in mind the evidence-based therapy. But the problem with online thing is I don't see my patient. I know what is evidence, what is the best which can be given, but there's a lot of difference between what we see in front of a screen and what we actually see after palpating or after doing all kinds of physical assessment tests. However, we had to move on. So how did we design our program to satisfy these two criteria? First, in our enrollment process, we asked all the patients, whosoever can walk for 6 minutes at their home. If they could do it, they were invited to send us an email so that we could send them a detailed Google form to know more about their problems. So this form had a lot of questions which related to their physical well-being, mental well-being, their cognitive abilities, their fatigue index, and certain quantitative tests like timed up and go test, their 30-second sit to stand test, like that, so that we are able to understand them better, and a complete history of any comorbid conditions. And then a mutual time would be fixed for their classes, and the classes will go ahead. So the basic prerequisites was the age between 18 to 65 years. They are able to walk for 6 minutes, assisted or unassisted, not a problem. And they should be having a stable internet connection. So we received about 112 responses in 2 weeks' time, in which we had a higher percentage from our female patients. And about their disease classification, we had a majorly relapsing remitting types and other types also, but the major portion was of relapsing remitting. And then our basic inclusion criteria was whether they were able to walk for 6 minutes or no, out of which 67.9 respondents said yes. So out of 112 responses, we found 76 to be eligible for further evaluating their forms. And yes, most of them, like they did use assistive devices, others could walk on their own. And to the certain questions that we asked them, like have they limited their physical activities in past 6 weeks or 4 weeks? So as we can see, only 8% had not, but the major portion of the patient had limited their physical activities in past 6 weeks. And asking about whether they are able to do the things away from the house, only 10% said yes, they are able to. Rest, all of them had a major problem in doing so. And has MS slowed your walking abilities over past 6 to 4 weeks? Then only 16% said not at all, but a major portion of my patients were affected in their walking abilities. And then on asking whether their walking is requiring a lot of effort, then again we had 17% saying that not at all, but rest, major portion of the patients were affected. So, coming to a simple flow chart, we had 112 responses, 76 we found eligible, 65 after further evaluating their forms, we found them that they could be included in our first batch, and 11 were excluded. 42 out of them reverted back, and 23 did not respond back. And now, when we have finished our week 5, I'm really very happy to see that 22 are still continuing and 20 have left. But again, I would like to highlight this reason. This 20 people that who have left us, it is because of certain reasons for which we as a therapist need to sensitize more and we need to understand more. Like for my week 1 and week 2, I had all the mat protocols. In week 3, we started off a little bit of ball exercises, which was quite not possible for my patients to do that because most of them could not just buy the equipments. And then week 4 and 5, they came back. Week 4, sorry, they came back to us because again we had a mat exercise program. But again in week 5 and week 6, which is very advanced over the ball, they said it's getting quite difficult because they don't have a caretaker available to them to help them, to give them the moral support. As just now Dr. Kesselring showed us how the therapy really works. There are a lot of factors. There's spiritual factor, there's mental factor. We keep on counseling them, but at the end they need somebody physically just around them to give them the confidence, to give them a push. And I know a lot of my patients, I had asked them, all of them, to be here right now. If you guys are listening, trust me, you are my motivators. You are the one. The way you people are doing therapy, I would like to share, I have a patient who has left upper limb spasticity, but then again she could toss the ball on the wall and catch it back, maintaining a good squatting position. This is not wonder. This is not wonder. This is sheer mental control. This is sheer high level of motivation. This is about, I have to do it. I have to win it. As Dr. Kesselring said, all right, I have MS. What next? How do I go further? This is what I want all our patients to understand. All right. So moving on. Reason for the dropouts, yes, inability to buy equipments. We have to understand we are a developing country, and at times it's easier for them to come to the center and use all the equipments that we can provide for their betterment. But on asking them whether they can buy it themselves, this becomes a problem. Few of my patients did had relapse in between, few had UTIs and other sudden infections, and few had certain job related commitments, and few of them had vertigo or dizziness spells as when they sat on the exercise ball. So we had to ask them to discontinue, and as I mentioned, few needed physical presence of the therapist to continue. So this is how we started giving our therapy. Like as I told you, a mutual time was decided, but in India, everybody has so much of commitments. And since you saw, I had a lot of female patients. So despite having MS, the priority of a female is her family, the food, the cleaning, the child, everything. So their own health comes a little later. So what we decided upon was, since my patients preferred, few patients preferred in Hindi, few patients preferred in English. So we made 2 sets of videos, and it was 3 sessions each week. So Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays morning, like about 5 a.m. or 1 a.m. or a previous night, they were sent the videos. They were asked to perform on their own, and each and every exercise was explicitly explained to them: how you have to sit on the ball, how you have to move further, how you have to carry it on. Along with it, mental imagery was given, as Dr. Kesselring said, and as in my training under Dupre Grant in Bordeaux in SERM 1049 under Professor Bruno Brochet, cognitive rehabilitation plays a very, very, very important role. We just can't say it's just the physical, not the cognitive. Both have to go side by side. So I asked my patient, those who think they cannot perform, please do a mental imagery. It's all about firing your brain cells. Please activate them. And a good mental imagery would definitely lead to better performance, more confidence in your exercising skills. So that was the protocol. In the first week, we had almost half of our sessions, but later the timings reduced because I knew my patient had started getting the way, how do we mental imagine the each process. Okay. So moving further, this is a beautiful journey so far. Almost every day, because Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we are sending out videos, and Saturday and Sunday is the recovery time for their homework. So we tell them whatever you have missed over the week, you have to finish it up. So every day, despite any hour of the day, my WhatsApp is loaded with their videos. We watch each and every video, we correct them. How do they have to go about it? If they have any problem, they are not able to do it, they put it across to us, and we try to solve each and every problem. So this is how we send them feedbacks where their posture is not right, how the hand positioning should be there, how the pelvic positioning, knee positioning, your knees should not be crossing toes. I mean, there is so much of personal care that needs to be given, because my patient is not with me. I am not touching my patient. I'm not holding my patient. So that is one of the biggest challenge. And another thing, under aegis of MSSI, as Dr. Kesselring said, our Indian MSSI team is just fantastic. Despite being a developing country, they are doing the maximum they can do for our patients. These classes are absolutely free. But all we want is 100% dedication and sincerity from our patients. And so the key points for the success, what I have realized, both for the therapist and the patient, that we have to recognize the changing patient and provider expectations. As my patients started getting better on the ball, they started asking me questions for other related conditions also. So I had to bring them back. Come on, our target is just to improve your walking and balance. I'm not going to take care of your BPPV right now. You better get your local physiotherapist. I know that's sad, but yes, we need to be focused. We need to deconstruct the traditional physical therapy encounter. See, this particular protocol, which I started for my patient, this was helped to me to design by Professor Peter Face and his entire team in Belgium. So we had designed this protocol, but when I actually started using it on my Indian patients, I realized we had a lot of cultural issues, we have a lot of monetary issues, and a lot of familial, economical issues that come in between our rehabilitation pathway. So we have to deconstruct the traditional pathways to get our patients going, and we need to be open to the discovery. And one very fantastic thing, one of my patients, she was not able to get onto the ball, she was slipping away. So another patient sent her video and showed, see how I have hooked my feet onto the leg of the bed, and now I'm performing it. I was like, fantastic. You guys are not patients. Your brain is working like a mill. So that was fantastic. And we have to redesign care with the focus on the value. We have to be bold and visionary, and commitment to the cause. That is most important. We need not to get deviated. Our patient needs to be committed. Their families need to be committed. And we as a therapist need to be committed, because taking such a task looks very exciting. But trust me, after my first batch, I was like, I had to give my all in for 6 weeks, leaving aside my family. And Dr. Sheila Chitnis ma'am knows it really well. But definitely, to all my patients, once again, it's all worth it. You have made this journey absolutely worthy for me. So as Professor Kesselring said, it's all about teamwork. Together, everyone achieves more. And we have to keep our focus on motivation, on dedication, on and no excuses in this pathway. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much.
Oh, that was superb.
Thank you, Professor.
Yeah, absolutely marvelous.